1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody seems so far away from me. Everybody just wants to be free. Look on down from the bridge. It's no different when you're leaving home. If your life feels like this video's for you. Intro. I don't have an intro. This is really embarrassing right now. I have to be quiet because my family's still asleep and I don't want to wake them up. Imagine that we're girls at a sleepover. I'm a girl though. Like, you don't have to imagine that, but imagine that we're at a sleepover and we're talking like this because our parents are asleep. Because that's kind of cool, isn't it? Can I fix the way my face looks? Okay, this is not that bad. You know what? Embrace the chaos, because this episode is going to be about perfectionism and how it's holding you back. Now, let me guess. You've had a bit of a rough past and you suffered a lot, and one day you were like, enough of this bullshit. I want to get my shit together. And you decided to step on this whole healing, self-improvement, going to therapy type journey. And you've made a lot of hard decisions that were hard as hell to make. You were brave. You were, you did the right thing. Life put you through a lot of crossroads where you had to pick between what you've always known and what you really want. And to even just to look within yourself and really see what you want and actually stand up for that. And that's been working out for you. That's been really great. But now you're here and you're just starting to realize that you can't fight your way to happiness anymore. It doesn't work like that anymore. And life just feels like you've said no to all the bullshit and there is just nothing in there. There's just nothing coming in anymore because I've said no to all the things that I didn't want and that I didn't want to settle for. Now, I think I have just found out the answer to this, and is that, first of all, I want to congratulate you. If you get to a point where you have set up strong boundaries that life is not able to just throw everything at you the way it used to be able to do that, then that's amazing and good work. However, it's important to see that saying yes is just as important. Saying yes to certain things and realizing that, you can't always do the right thing, because sometimes there's just no the right thing. It's a lot more like, when you're going through a lot of hard times, it's like, it's so obvious what to do. It's just also really obvious how fucking hard that is. But you know exactly what you have to do, but you also know that it's really hard and you feel a lot of resistance, but you do it anyways. But when you've made a lot of decisions like that and you've kind of created a sense of stability, these type of crossroads start going away, because life has been throwing you around and shaping you, whatever environment you were born into that shaped you. And maybe it shaped you in a bad way, with all the trauma responses and the bad patterns. And, if you're on this journey, you know about that probably. So, you have reshaped yourself to a way that life can't really shape you anymore. But it's like you've gotten to this stagnant point and life is waiting for you to shape your own life, to shape your own destiny. Good tea. But really, life is waiting for you to go out there and explore and experiment and stop worrying about what the right thing is. You've done the right thing so many times. It's time for you to experiment. Life is not about perfection. Life is about experience. And I think this is what a lot of people get wrong, especially young people, is that at this age, when you're like 18, 20, I don't know, I'm gonna turn 18 in like a month, so that's the perspective that I'm talking from, is that when you're at this age, you're finishing high school, you're at a crossroad type of place, but there are so many roads. It's not like before where it was like, okay, I have two choices, to either go with the scary option, the brave option, or just keep my head down and keep being inauthentic and do what my fear tells me to do. But now you've developed so much strength that you get to choose. And this is new to you. You've not known that. You've not experienced a life where you're freely able to try things and experiment with what you want to do, because that wasn't safe for you. You either did this or you got hurt. But now that's not the case anymore, and it's like life is calling you to go out and just try things. And I think it's so simple, but you know that feeling, especially Gen Z, we all get it, when we just feel like life is just not colorful. Like life is just not colorful anymore. You know, you watch your comfort shows, your comfort movies, and you want to move into their life because it just seems so much more fun and colorful and eventful. And see, that's the thing. You've been strong enough to keep out the negative events, which is really hard when that's something you were born into, and that's something that was your entire life till a certain point, and congratulations. But you need to create the positive. You need to try things and experiment with life. You know, life is art. Life is your freaking canvas. And I know that, like, this sounds very simple and easy, but seriously, you can't always do the right thing. There is not always a right thing to do. It's like when you're choosing ice cream, you're choosing from the different flavors. It's not like when you have to leave your family or stand up to someone you're terrified of. It's not like that. Life stops becoming so dangerous and hurtful when you develop that strength, but it feels like you have not gotten used to that. You have not adapted to that. You're still waiting for things to attack you. It's like, I need to go with the right choice, or I'm going to get attacked, or I'm going to get hurt. But see, that's also a thing. It's okay to get hurt, and this is gonna sound bad. See, I don't think it's okay to knowingly go into a hurtful situation for someone's validation and approval. That's not okay in my world. But it's okay to try things and realize that that's not the way you want to do it again. That doesn't make it a mistake, you know, because you didn't know you were making a mistake. It kind of just makes it an experiment. And that's what life is about. It's about experimenting and trying out new things. And sometimes you try things out and they're not going to feel good for you. They're going to feel like shit. And you're going to be like, okay, this is not for me. But that doesn't mean like, oh, wow, never again. I've made a mistake. I got hurt. Like, no. As long as you're true to yourself, and as long as you are being honest with yourself and you're not fooling yourself, as long as you do that, you have nothing to be afraid of. You have nothing to fear. And life does bring situations where you have to be strong. And don't worry, that's probably going to happen. Sometimes life gets tough. Sometimes the road gets tough. I don't know why, but no, really, it does. So you don't have to do the right thing. Things don't need to be perfect for you to live. Life is not a job to get done, you know, because I know when you've dealt with a lot of hard shit, it feels like life is this job to get done. And all you see is your next mission, your next thing to do that are all really challenging and really scary. But after you've done all that, you get to this point where there are so many options and you're not realizing how good that is, because you're used to having to be strong. You're used to having to take the scary path and the hard path and the true path, or I don't know, like you're used to that. But you don't realize you have won. You have gotten to a place where you're able to shape your own life and shape your own destiny and shape your own whatever. It doesn't matter what you call it. You can do whatever you want. And that's fucking good. And I know it's weird, because when you come from a place that is controlling and always tells you what to do, and the way you get out of that is to kind of disobey and not let that bring you down. You know, that is very obvious in the moment. Somebody's going at you, attacking you. It's very obvious that, or not, you know, not always obvious, but after some time it gets obvious that what you need to do is to either fight back or not take it personally. But when you're, after that point, you learn how to keep these situations out. You learn how to detach yourself. But see, it's time to attach yourself to things that are actually important to you and are actually just a part of life. Like experience, like literally trying anything out. You're free now. And I feel like that's what you're not able to see, because if all you've known is a cage, freedom feels weird and unusual. But I'm telling you, there's a whole world out there for you to explore and experiment with. And there won't always be a right thing. Things don't always feel right or wrong. It's like choosing your ice cream flavor. Yeah, it's not always going to be that you do this or you get hurt terribly and it's going to be so bad. Like, see, I can talk about this all day. But if you're not able to get the hell out of the house, get the hell out of your screen, and get the hell into the world, it doesn't fucking matter what I say. Like, words after a certain point, they just become useless, because what matters is what you do with the information that you have. And that's also something you've learned so much, but you're not doing anything with that information. You're just being like, oh, I guess I'm going to use it for defense, but you're not using it to actually have fun. You're not using it to actually self-actualize and experiment and create the life that you actually want. You can create the life that you actually want from books and videos and tutorials of how to live. And I don't know, like, you have to try it out for yourself. And that's beautiful. And I know that you come from a place where that was dangerous, but now it's not. And congratulations. And I think you should look at this blank slate type of time in your life as a celebration. A lot of people don't have that privilege. You didn't have this privilege a few years ago, but now you do. And I know sometimes you feel nostalgic for how many things happened and how fun that was, but so like, see, you can get that back. You can get the fun back. But now you know how to keep out all the things that made you want to change in the first place. And it's like, see, I can talk about this all day, but if you're not able to just go out, try things, try new hobbies. Like, that's one thing too. Like, try new hobbies. Don't be afraid to be wronged, Not in like a bad way. Don't be afraid to find out you were wrong about something and learn something new. And find out you like something, find out you enjoy something. Don't be afraid to try things. And this is such a simple message. This is such a simple thing. But life is so much more than always doing the right thing, than following this perfect path that you have created for yourself or you're searching for. The reason you can't find the right thing to do is that there is no right thing to do. Life is a blank slate because it's waiting for you to create it. It's waiting for you to write your own story. And that's not going to happen as long as you're being like, oh, what's the point of trying that? Oh, what's the point of this? What's the point of that? I'm not saying if you're actually depressed and you need to look at an underlying issue. I'm not talking about that. But don't be afraid of life, Don't be afraid to actually live and go out and try and experiment and experience. That's what you're so deeply craving. And it's so simple. It's literally so simple. And also, like, stop thinking so much. Life is not this mathematical problem to figure out. Life is not like math. Life is more like art class or something. I'm trying to say something so deep. But really, it's not about if there is any point in doing that. If you get a new experience, then there is a point in doing that. If you're doing it with the intention of pleasing others, fuck that shit. But like, what's the point of asking what the point is? There is no point. Like, existence is the weirdest shit ever. Like, you can go back and ask what's the point of that question, like, to the point of creation, and like, what's the point of that? Like, what's the point of whatever you believe in, the universe experiencing itself, or God, or anything? Like, you're missing the point. The point is not looking for what the point is. The point is just experiencing life, and the point is just living. And it's very simple. And you're overcomplicating it in your head. And I get it, that is because you've learned that that's the safe way to live and that's the way to not get hurt. But you have built yourself up to such a strong person. You're not going to get hurt. You're not, your sense of self is not able to be obliterated the way you were a child by whatever narcissist. Like, you've learned so much. It's time for you to trust that. It's time for you to trust your knowledge and trust yourself and go on the adventure that experimenting with new things is, because it is an adventure. And I know you're craving that. I know you're sitting in front of your laptop and you're like, how to have a life, typing that into Reddit or YouTube. Like, to have a life, you need to get the fuck out and try new things, and you'll have a life. I promise. And don't worry, you'll new things along the way. You'll learn new things along the way about how to deal with certain situations. But you're not that person anymore that is not safe in the world. You are safe. You've grown up, and you've not just grown up, you learned how to navigate life. That's true growing up. That's really like learning to be your own parent, learning to be your own guardian. You are strong enough to experiment. You are brave enough. You are wise enough. You are good enough to experiment life, to experiment with life. And it's time for you to put that damn faith in yourself, to have the courage to go out and just live. It's so simple, y'all. It's literally so simple. So I think that's all I want to say, because also, one of the reasons I don't like talking that much, and like this is the reason I haven't been posting that much, is that I feel like I can talk all day, but you know what to do. Like, if you just, I know this is so Uncle Iroh. I just watched The Last Airbender, the original cartoon though. I don't mess with the adaptations. But it's like, you do have to look within yourself to save yourself. No, it's like, as long as you're able to actually look within yourself and face the truth of your situation, it's, I'm gonna give you a little hint. It's always the thing that makes you uncomfortable. It's the thing that always the thing that you don't want to face, that you need to face the most. So if you do that, it's always going to be kind of obvious to you what the next step is, and it's kind of going to be obvious to you what to do. And I'm not saying in the what the right choice is way. Life is not going to tell you what ice cream flavor to choose, but it is going to tell you to go out and have fun, and having ice cream is a type of fun. So you can't solve life. You can't figure life out. But if you just take a good look at your life and you put your no bullshit glasses on, and you have the courage and the freaking balls to look at your life and see the uncomfortable thing that you need to do, then you're kind of always going to know what to do. And that's why I don't like talking on this podcast too much. And that's why I've not been uploading that much, because I just feel like, what's the point in me telling you all this? You already know. You're watching YouTube to avoid making the actual choice. You're thinking about it and figuring it out and thinking and plotting how it would go if you did it, because you're too much of a pussy to actually do it. Sorry, not sorry. So I love you though. I don't mean to offend you with this. It's okay to be a pussy. I get it. It's a trauma response. But I just want to say that it's going to be fine. You are strong enough to go out and be safe in the world while experimenting. And you're able to create that feeling state of living that you're craving so much. And it's really simple, y'all. All you have to do is let go of the bullshit. I'm telling you, literally, all you have to do is just stop feeding yourself the bullshit and just pull away all the things that are not true. And the truth is just going to be so obvious of what you have to do, or where you're going, or what you need. It's going to be so obvious if you're able to just look at yourself and see the lies that you're telling yourself. If you pull those away, the truth will not be something you have to convince yourself of. It's going to be something you realize. And it's going to be something that's so easy to believe because you realize it. It's not like someone tells you you're beautiful and you have to go to the mirror and convince yourself and be like, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. Like, no. The truth is easy when you've pulled away all the lies. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. Stop bullshitting yourself. Get the hell out and live. You are safe in the world. I promise. Or maybe I don't promise. I don't like promises because you never know. But have fun and just live a little. We're all gonna freaking die. And even if existence is like eternal, you exist forever. Time goes on. You're going to be here like 1,000,000 years from now on. You're not even gonna remember this. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. And that's scary. Don't think about that too much. It can give you a bit of a crisis. But I'm gonna go now. You go ahead and drink some water, have some tea, have some fun, and stop lying to yourself. Bye.